Hello everybody, I'm Jake, and this is Riding the Pine, and I have Lou and John with me. It's the good old boys. We're back again, and we have something from the 90s, right? This is the 90s and not the 80s, or was this the 80s? 90s. So
1992.
I was a human person that existed. This is Crystal Pepsi, and then also we have an abortion of all confection, and okay, this is what mine looks like, but this is a shipped bag of Oreos that have in the cream inside taste like Swedish fish, which sounds terrible, but Lou had to actually send me these things because neither of them are necessarily in my market.
Jake's state actually gives a shit about its constituents, about its citizens. So
I wouldn't say that.
They don't sell it. Well, they care about you more than Texas cares about us. They were willing to sell not only Crystal Pepsi, but also Swedish Fish Oreos, which, wow.
I'm gonna cut into this little packaging. By the way, Lou sent this to me personally, and that was to protect the integrity of the Oreos. He bubble wrapped it, which is just great. I mean, really. I
wanted to make sure you got the full Oreo experience. I don't eat Oreo crumbs, okay? We eat Oreos down here in Texas.
Right, so we're not making a flurry. Oh, okay. Oh, it's a little plastic bag, too. That's not... Oh, you gave me way too many. 6?
Wow.
I guess I have to eat all of these, right?
So I gotta tell you... Oh, I didn't... I paid to ship them. You're fucking eating them.
Oh, damn it. All right, they smell like Swedish fish. Okay, tell us a story. Okay, so for reference, by the way, I'm the youngest of the three of us.
Oh my God!
Lou is next, and then obviously, John is way older than us. I mean, he's just super elderly. He's borderline grandfather. I'm just kidding. He's good looking. He's a good looking guy. He's in his 30s. It's fine. Anyways, tell us about. 38. Well, shh, don't tell the people. Make them subtract 5 all the time. You're 33. Anyways, tell us about your Crystal Pepsi experience back in, when Clinton was around.
Well, so first I'll say, so Lou, they sent us the Crystal Pepsi. I was able to get this at the store, but I found out that I guess the Swedish Fish Oreos are only available at Kroger's.
Oh.
Is that? I don't know. I go to Kroger's.
We don't have Kroger's around me, so I went a different route. I decided since Oreo decided that they wanted to do Swedish Fish Oreos, I bought some Swedish Fish and some Oreos. And I'm going to go ahead and put
Are you going to twist them apart and then put a Swedish Fish in there and then eat the whole thing?
That is correct, sir.
Oh, all right. Well, I have... Oh, that is heavy. Wow, that's like... Holy shit. Is that what you're coughing about, Lou?
Dude, these things smell like... John made a reference way back in our first thing when we were doing the Cheeto, with the mac and Cheetos. He said these smell like somebody ate Cheetos and then coughed or breathed on them.
Yeah.
Like, these smell like somebody, same thing, these smell like somebody ate a whole bag of Swedish fish
and then breathed on you.
And then just vomited all over. That smells horrible.
Yeah, these are not a good thing. Okay, so first thing we should do... I don't
want to eat this.
This is probably going to be fine. This is Crystal Pepsi. It's probably just going to be a Pepsi. All right, calm down.
Bad.
Calm down, guy. Come on, you live in Texas. You literally live in worse. This is Crystal Pepsi. This is probably just Pepsi, right?
So Crystal Pepsi, the first time around, everybody said, right. It's supposed to taste just like cola, and it didn't taste like cola. Now, I didn't mind it. It wasn't great, but I didn't mind it. So I don't know if they went the same route or if they are going a new route.
Well, it's really clear. Like, it's obnoxiously clear.
Yeah, like you can see right through it.
7-Up.
I'm expecting some sort kind of like a cousin of cola, and then just because it's clear, I'm assuming Sprite-ish notes. So
yeah,
I'm gonna crack the seal. I've never tried this.
I've never had it either. This was a part of my childhood that I've regretted for so long that I wasn't old enough to have gotten this on my own.
I was 4 years old.
I was 6 when this came out. Now, that being said...
This smells like ginger ale. It smells like Canada Dry.
It smells just like Pepsi to me.
You know what it smells like? It smells like Smarties, the chalky Smartie candies.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it doesn't smell bad. It smells like this is something I would, down with. Okay, so...
Let's do it. All right.
That's Pepsi.
That's
delicious.
Just Pepsi.
Yeah, it's just fine. Is that better than you remember?
Yes, much better. This is delicious. I would drink this.
Real quick. Do you guys
I kind of want to put whiskey in this.
Is there kind of like not an aftertaste, but like an after texture? Like,
yes.
Does your tongue feel like
Almost
you just put like a Listerine strip in, and like how it coats your tongue?
You know what it is? Yeah, it's a little carbonated. It's less like when you drink a cola or something, whatever that caramely stuff is. It's like a film almost, and you feel like sugary and ucky. This doesn't have that. So what you're feeling is just the carbonation.
Yeah.
So
That's weird. I know it tastes fine.
It tastes like cola, but you expect it to kind of feel different because it's cola and not, say, a Sprite.
And it kind of coats the roof of my mouth.
And not in a bad way.
There's something. Yeah, it's not bad. It's just very weird. I've never felt this from a drink before.
So what I was gonna say was, it tastes to me like Pepsi that has a slight amount of kind of orange or lemon to it.
A citrus.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of
like there's a citrus.
Well, and
I think that is. There's
the fourth ingredient is citric acid.
Oh, citric acid is the fourth ingredient.
I think maybe the caramel coloring might dull that just a touch.
That's a good point.
So yeah, it's probably exactly the same except they took out the dye. It's
so
good. I recommend it. If you like Pepsi, you like this, go for it.
So
I waited my entire life to try it.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. The original had a slight bitterness to the aftertaste. This aftertaste is sweet and nice, and they did a great friggin' job with this. I would drink this in place of Coca-Cola, and I'm addicted to Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it's actually really, really nice.
I enjoy
I'm surprised, and I'm sure everyone's disappointed it's not total garbage. But what is going to almost certainly be garbage is got to be this right here. This little, and it's just red filling with a fucking Oreo.
Does it smell awful to you?
No, it totally smells awful. I like Swedish fish. Now, I'm not a huge fan of candy in general, but I'll eat a Swedish fish if like the kids have it or something. You know what I mean? So this is like heavy shit. Like it stings a little bit.
How many Swedish fish should I put on this?
Just one, I think. I think this is one liquefied Swedish fish.
John, I think you're actually going to have a more, while silly, you will have a better experience eating your concoction than we will.
Honestly, it really does. Yeah.
It smells bad. It smells like shit. It smells terrible.
And because you sent this to me, I'm gonna eat all 6 of these. And I don't want to. By the way, I'm trying to eat healthy. Like
So I think we need to eat one where we eat it, and then we need to do one where you split it.
Are we taking a bite, or are we eating the whole thing?
Well, I mean, you need to eat a bite so you can get the flavor for it. I'll go ahead and go.
Oh, you're gonna make me.
All right, here. I'm going with my Oreo with a Swedish fish on it.
Okay.
Ugh.
Okay.
Oh man.
Okay. Okay. So what's happening here?
Oh,
it's like god. Okay.
That is.
So you ever had those lollipop things, the blow pops, and they have gum inside of them? It tastes like you ate a cherry one of those with the gum in it, like right when you bite through, and it has gum and it has the cherry flavor. It's like that, and then the Oreo, but because Oreos are typically not super sweet, like the chocolate cookie part is not that sweet, it gets extra bitter because the inside is it's super bad.
It tastes like Oreo fucked up, and they actually made like Robitussin or Dimetap flavored Oreos.
I do say Robitussin. Really, honestly, and that's not hyperbole.
I'm not
this
joking.
This reminded me. Like I'm not kidding. When I took a bite of this, I thought of the dentist.
Oh my god!
You know how things are linked to memory like that? Like I thought of the dentist last time my teeth were drilled, and I'm like.
Okay, so my experience was completely different. It was a wonderful experience of an Oreo with a slight amount of cherry mixed into the thing. It was delightful. It was delicious. So I apologize that you both have gone through such a horrible experience.
Okay, for everyone out there.
Is there any flavor of the vanilla cream in that?
No.
Cookie?
No.
Okay, so then here's what I'm gonna do for you guys. I'm taking 2 halves of a chocolate with no cream, or just the little crumbs of cream.
Okay.
With 3 Swedish fish. Let's see if I get closer. 3 of them.
Do you get mini Swedish fish?
No, they're the regular Swedish fish. 3 of them. So here we go. Let's see what this is like.
Oh man, that's bad. There's nothing redeeming about this at all.
Is that worse, John?
No, it's delicious.
What the hell?
Goodness. It tastes like a cherry-flavored chocolate.
How many drugs are you on right now?
So if I'm hearing you right, John, Oreo and Swedish Fish works. So what this is the Swedish Fish Oreo. Oreo made something good, and then Nabisco, who is going to be Warner Brothers, fucked it up. So this is the Suicide Squad of cookies. Oreo made something decent, and then Warner Brothers Nabisco walked in and just completely pissed all over it and made it garbage.
This tastes like kids' toothpaste.
This tastes like something a 6-year-old would love. Like, a 6-year-old would probably love this.
I recommend anybody that's going to go for those. Just open up an Oreo, stick one Swedish Fish on there, and eat that instead. It's delicious.
Jake, you don't have to eat them all. I can't finish this. This is one. I bought a pack of these. I'm so pissed at myself.
This is unbelievable
so
to me how different our experiences are. Because theoretically, we're eating the same thing, right?
No, we're not.
Clearly not.
That is terrible.
How did this make it past the fucking test situation where out of the goddamn kitchen where they made the first one?
That tastes like what I imagine a men's room would taste like.
So there's another
really, really, really gross bar.
So I get a bonus. I get a bonus out of doing that Swedish Fish thing. Okay. I get to make my own double stuff.
Everything's coming up, John, today's episode.
John's life is just... But you know what I will say? Hey, I'm very happy that I finally got to try Crystal Pepsi. I don't know why this is a limited time thing, and I think this needs to remain.
I think it totally needs to remain. I would get whiskey and Crystal Pepsis at every bar.
This is a vodka all the way, a vodka and Crystal Pepsi. I'd like a diet version, Pepsi, if you're listening. I know you are. A diet version would be nice, but this is okay.
Yeah.
I don't usually drink regular sodas either, but...
Nathaniel Newton said he wants to see it mixed with rum. I agree. I think with the rum it'd be really nice because it's already got a little bit of sweetness.
All I have in my house
with a really nicely spiced rum, yeah, it'd be really, really good.
All I have in my house is a little bit of Johnny Walker and some Tito's vodka. So
Tito's good stuff.
Yeah, I've got a handle of Tito's downstairs. I actually loaded up to give you guys an idea. I loaded up on these things. I bought 9 of them. My girlfriend drank one yesterday. I shipped 2 off to Jake, and so I've got.
Oh, that's right. I have another one. That made me so excited. Because these are actually genuinely pretty good.
This is pretty good. This isn't terrible. This isn't terrible. So, should we talk about the? Should we let the viewers know about the apocalypse that we learned of today?
Oh God. Okay. I'm gonna build it up, and then I want you to deliver the hammer, which is the name of the product. Okay.
Okay.
So here's what happened. I was minding my own business this morning, right? I wake up in the morning, and we have a group chat for this in our fantasy football league, and then I check Twitter in the morning. You guys know I do YouTube. I check my YouTube stuff. Brush my teeth, do the thing. When the magic happens is when I sit. Wow, that's hitting my stomach really hard. When the magic happens,
it's really heavy. It's really
when everyone else's does. It's when you remove your pants from your body, or if you're like me, you didn't have to. You sleep naked and you take a shit. Well, the shit starts, of course, and because it's the morning, it's glorious. Oh, thank you. And
welcome.
And I open this text. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. It says basically, hey, it was this morning at 9 a.m., which is, that's a little early, man. It's a little early to hit me with this thing. It just says, I'm not going to show you the picture because it's a picture of the product, and Lou just says, I quit. It's just not funny anymore. They took it too far, and it's all our fault. The idea here is that once RTP started, all the gimmick foods have started to hit the fucking market. And it's kind of true. I don't know if they're watching, but they should be. And so we ate the mac and Cheetos. We've eaten the fucking Cheeto burrito. We've got a bunch of other stuff that we've done. This, by far, is the most adulterated obnoxious abortion of a food that I have ever seen. And actually, it reminds me of something that I used to have to deal with. But Lou, why don't you tell the people in great detail what this product actually is, and we can discuss it for a little bit.
Should I show it on the screen?
If you can, you totally can. It's,
are you okay, Lou?
That was one of my contacts popped out.
Those Oreos, man.
Those are bad. I didn't finish that, dude. I'm gonna throw those away.
Like, I have all this cream on one because I just wanted one cookie.
God.
I just wanted one cookie. This is the amount of cream that's on those sons of bitches. I can't eat this.
So I will screen share and show everybody what it is that Jake is talking about. This is Burger King's new burrito. It is a cheeseburger burrito, and the name of it has made me realize that there is a God and it hates us. This is what you people are looking at. This is the Whopper Ito.
Wow, I love it.
This is the Whopper Ito. It is a Whopper burrito, and there's an article about it on Forbes. And when I saw this, I was just angry. How could Burger King do this? What animals thought this was okay?
Wait, are there no onions on that?
There's onions. That's what the white
things. The white thing's
right
onions. Okay, so
I'm pointing at my screen like a fucking idiot. Like I'm pointing with my finger. Like that's it right there.
See, what I thought those were little like jets of mayo popping out from in between the things.
So
is that liquid cheese, sir? Is that liquid?
It is what they describe as super queso sauce.
Super queso?
Super.
Oh, so that sits at room temperature all day.
Slightly above. Slightly above, because that's an
slightly above. It's tepid. It's tepid to the touch.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Reddit would probably call this late stage capitalism.
So
it's very late stage. We're at the very end. We're at this is the iceberg kind of, or the cliff, or the mountain peak of civilization. We're about to come off the other side. Little do we know that's a sheer drop.
So
and it starts with the fucking burrito, the Whopper Ito.
So I was reading the article where I found out about it was on Forbes, and I figured, okay, so this thing is being tested. They're releasing it for testing, and they said this thing has been tested fairly with no fanfare. And typically, whenever companies test something like this, they typically don't make it public, like what Taco Bell did with the Cheeto burrito. Hey, it's only in Cincinnati. 2 reasons. One, they don't like for people to travel to go get the thing, because then that gives an inflated number on how many they sell, because people will travel in from other places to get it. And 2, they don't like to do it because if it's a monumental failure, Nintendo would love for us all to forget about the Virtual Boy. We ain't fucking forgetting, Nintendo. Okay, you fucked up. So they try to keep these things fairly secret whenever they're testing them. And I said, what fucking assholes thought this thing was okay? And the 3 states where they tested it, the 3 markets were small markets in Pennsylvania, Ohio, it's southern Texas.
Where Lou lives.
I am prepared to take my share of the responsibility for I didn't know. And I'm so sorry that we let this happen. Because as the article goes into detail, it flopped in Pennsylvania, it was mediocre in sales in Ohio, and it just sold out in Texas. I'm sorry, fellow human beings. And I say this to you, Kevin Sorbo, critically acclaimed actor and star of the film masterpiece that is God's Not Dead. He went on every radio station he could, he went on every TV station he could, and he declared God's not dead. What say you now, Kevin Sorbo? What say you now, Hercules? The Whopper Ito is on your hands.
Anyways, so
it's terrible. Oh God, I'm so upset that my state is the one who thought this was a good idea and bought it.
I do have a little bit of story involved in this, kind of. So out of high school and a little bit after I moved away, came back, worked again for a little bit in McDonald's. in my early adulthood and late childhood. And at one point, I don't remember when this was, we were one of the stores testing Angus wraps, I think is what they were called. They had like Angus burgers. They were like this big. Basically, you cut them in half, stick them inside a tortilla, and put the same shit on it, and then sell it to human beings as if it's food. And I gotta tell you, I tried these, all of them. Nope. And this is gonna be the same goddamn thing, except this time they have liquid cheese on it. That's not a good thing. There's nothing positive about this. Everything, like Crystal Pepsi is the highlight of trying food on RTP, and it's all downhill now. We have nothing to look forward to. I agree with you. Kevin Sorbo's probably a full-blown atheist at this point, devil worshiper.
He should be. He should be.
There's maybe he's Hindu now. He's just going to convert because the God he prays to does no longer love us.
It genuinely hates us.
Wow, there's tears in your eyes.
I just put my contact back in dry. It really hurts. It really fucking hurts.
Okay,
but about 25% of it is that my state let this happen. My state was the one who encouraged Burger King to do this. Somebody said to me today, they said, it's half Whopper, it's half burger, half burrito. It has pickles on it. It's no part burrito, okay? It has pickles.
It does have onions, and lettuce, and cheese sauce, and a tortilla.
Super queso sauce.
I'm sorry. But,
I
thought I was mad about these.
I really feel terrible for both of you over this because my experience with my Oreos tonight has been nothing but pleasant and overly satisfactory.
Suck a nut, John.
I'm gonna have to eat extra vegetables just to get rid of this out of my system.
Your vegetables won't want to be in your digestive tract with those. They're gonna be like, oh shit, you ate Oreo? You ate Swedish fish Oreos? No thanks, bro. We heard those are awful.
That's fine. I'm super regular. Okay. Also, little announcement on this show. I will be starting what is very popular on Twitter, and that is called Cooking with Jake, where I cook a thing. We'll be starting the first week of football season, probably the Sunday morning before, and it will be uploaded, and it'll be a little every week. I'll give you a different recipe or a set to do at your while you watch football. It'll be fun. And then after that, we'll just continue it. But
and I will be doing a segment where I preview new Astros hats.
Okay, there's.
I won't be doing that. I won't be doing that.
Okay, there's no market for that. So, anyways, what are we talking about today, guys? As far as sports, and preferably it has nothing to do with anything Swedish.
So, Lou, I heard that Lamar Miller did pretty well.
Lamar Miller looked excellent. If you guys want to talk about takeaways from week 1 of the NFL preseason so far, Lamar Miller looked fantastic. Granted, on 6 carries for 40 yards, 6 carries for, what am I talking about? 6 carries, 40 yards. There we go. Looked really good. Really, yeah, I know, I messed up. Looked really good, had a 14-yard break, looked explosive between the tackles. Man, Lamar Miller, I was worried that he wasn't going to be able to get anything done behind our offensive line. And granted, it was against the 49ers, whose defense was miserable last year. Looked really good. Really happy with what I saw so far. Wish I could say the same about Brock Lobster, but
okay,
yeah.
So can we talk about Brock Lobster for a little bit? He will probably never turn into Bork Laser, and here's why.
He'll never earn that.
When I saw him throw past, I think he was 4 for 7 or something for like 21 yards, just abysmal. Which isn't really important. It's preseason. I don't care.
He was 4 for 8 for 67 yards.
It was bad. Well, he came back in then. But it was just when you see him throw, he's got the ball up here, and then the ball drops down next to his hip, wheels around, and then he throws it. It takes forever. He does not have a quick release. He's not like Drew Brees or Peyton Manning. The release is really slow. He rocks back and forth when he throws. And Lou, you said he kind of throws off his back foot. I watched it again. I don't know if he necessarily throws off his back foot, but it's certainly not his front foot.
I guess what I meant by that
flat-footed.
He doesn't step into the throw. He doesn't step up into the throw.
He does a little bit, but it's not nearly as much as it should be. Anyways, his throwing motion looks fucking crazy. He looks like kind of like a retarded baby, just kind of swatting at something, and just happens to have a ball in his hand. It's not a good look. He's not very accurate. Many of the balls he threw was in. Like one of the balls, he threw it to his left side, and it was to some receiver, I don't know, out of the slot. And he threw it to him, and the receiver made a really good play on the ball where he was running. He had to spin around, catch it, and then continue his route. Like, he had to spin for it. Two other guys had to, like, dive for their catches. So it's like, it's not a great look, man. And, again, this is just preseason, but this is what I saw last year from him, too. So, yeah, I would think that maybe Lamar Miller is going to have to catch more passes than we anticipated because they're not going to be able to move the ball.
No, Lamar Miller is going to have his work cut out for him. One thing I was thoroughly disappointed in from the Texans was seeing their starting offense when they went out there, or excuse me, their starting defense when they went out there. The first half, the Niners had their way with them. I mean, the Niners at the end of the first half had 16 first downs. I mean, man. That's incredible. They only had 1 3-and-out in the first half. For a team that won what? How many games did they win last year? 3? Yeah. For a team that wins 3 games a year ago with a coach who 2 years before that was like selling carpet cleaners door to door, when they're able to make that kind of turnaround against a team who's supposed to be playing for a division championship,
Wait,
that
Chip Kelly was selling carpet cleaning?
No, their coach last year, Manguli or whatever his name was.
Manguli? Tom Sula? Jim Tom Sula?
There you go.
Manguli Tom Sula.
There you go. 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, or whatever, he was selling auto parts, or he wasn't in the NFL 5 years ago. He's got a Kurt Warner story.
Now. He's garbage. He's terrible.
But no, I wasn't excited about that. Jake, what was something that you saw that you took away? What was a positive and a negative you took away from the
preseason? I saw Matt Jones get his ass beat by the Falcons defense, the running back for Washington. So they don't have a running game. He's not good. He runs really upright, much like Latavius Murray, except Murray is really explosive and has a really good offensive line. But yeah, Matt Jones. Honestly, if you're in fantasy football and you're looking at Matt Jones like he's a late-round steal, I'm sorry, but he's not. He's not going to. He had one good game 2 years ago. Avoid. That's it. Really, everything else was like standard preseason bullshit. Like my Lions looked fine against the Steelers, who looked fine. I don't even know the final score of that game. I just know that they practiced together for a few days, and then they played a game. I like the cornerbacks this year for my team. Like Darius Slay, Quandre Diggs, etc. They look good. I'm excited for the season, but yeah, I don't know. Game 1 of preseason football, or in games 2, like it just.
Yeah, game 3 is really when you're going to see something about your team. That being said, one game that everybody was paying attention to, obviously, was the Cowboys and Rams, with getting to see, our first action of Goff and our first action of Ezekiel Elliott. Man, I will say, which we didn't get to see.
Goff looks way better than his counterparts, right?
Goff looks better, but I will say this: one of the things that we've said about the Rams for the last few years is their defense is supposed to be the cornerstone to that team. Their secondary looked abysmal. Dak Prescott looked like Cam Newton or Ben Roethlisberger out there. I mean, this rookie from Mississippi State that nobody had any expectations went out there. 10 for 12, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, had a solid performance in one half of football.
Well, because one of the things that the Rams do is they have kind of it's not just base defense. They have kind of a zone blitz every once in a while, and so they're not going to give you a lot of the looks and a lot of the pressure that you would get normally. Obviously, Aaron Donald and Robert Quinn are in there, which help a lot with a lot of the secondary stuff because of pressure on the quarterback. So you're not going to get like these good looks. But I agree, like when on an island in coverage, they do not look great. But I mean, like. Again, these numbers will be inflated or deflated, just depending on who's out there and how people are just like they're not playing to kill each other. Like a lot of those guys aren't playing for jobs at this point. They still think they have time. Like the last 2 games get really competitive though, so look forward to that. As far as Ezekiel Elliott, he seemed fine, right? He seemed fun.
No, Elliott didn't play.
Didn't he?
No.
Oh no, he was out of practice. That was what I was seeing.
Yeah.
No, he was.
Yeah, that was Darius. Darius Jackson was the kid who came in and played for him and looked okay.
I think he returned to practice today, according to Adam Schefter, Ezekiel Elliott, and that's why he was in my head.
Yeah. John, what do you think about your Dolphins so far? Got some interesting stats to share about that starting offense.
No, please go ahead. Let me hear them.
To give you an idea, the Dolphins' starting offense, now they were only out there for 2 series, but in 2 series they amassed a whopping 13 yards.
Woo!
And they were the only first-team offense or presumptive starter out of any quarterbacks, Tannehill was, to not have a first down in preseason week 1. Out of all the presumptive starters that played.
Did Foster play?
No. Arian Foster did not play.
So, a lot of people were saying that Arian Foster looked like the best back in camp, and they're probably keeping him out because of his injuries. But Jay Ajayi is the guy right now, right?
Yes.
Like it really seems like all the news I'm hearing after that one initial report, it's Jay. So if today's fantasy, if the fantasy draft starts today, John, as a Dolphins guy, who are you picking?
Oh, between Arian or Jay, I'd pick Arian Foster.
Yeah, because he's got that injury and they're not playing him. Do you think it's because?
Well, I think they're just trying to make sure that he's as healthy as he can be for the beginning of the season because he is injury prone. So, I'm going to be. I didn't get a chance to watch the game this weekend because I was out and about. But I wanted to hear Lou's thoughts on it because he kept jiving at me about how poorly they played.
They really looked. Now the final score isn't indicative because one, you've got the third stringers that came in, and Matt Moore had a acceptable game, 10 for 14, 122 yards, touchdown and an interception. But his touchdown was just a complete Hail Mary, just a fuck up of a play, a tipped ball that a guy ended up going 56 yards for. They didn't look good. They really, really, really looked pathetic. The Dolphins offense did absolutely nothing. The starting offense did absolutely nothing to impress anybody. And that was against a Giants defense that, let's face it, has completely fallen apart over the last 2 years. I'm not excited. John was saying, look, this team might win 4 games. I thought that was a little low. I'm completely agreeing with him at this point. This is not a 6-win team in Miami right now.
No, I don't think so either. But I still stand by that I think Buffalo is going to be competing for the division.
Oh, certainly based on how the Patriots do in those first 4 weeks. If they fall 1-3, absolutely, money's going to have to be on the Bills to take this division. Obviously, another thing everybody wanted to talk about, or that everybody was excited to see, was how RG3 was going to come back to Cleveland. Not a spectacular return. Made a couple of really good throws, made a couple of really bad throws also. So I don't know. What do you guys think about RG3?
I think I want him to do well because he's fun to watch, and Cleveland is a dumpster fire. Yep. But other than that, I don't really care. Or it doesn't matter to me. I don't think he's gonna do well in fantasy. Not enough. I mean, he might be in our league because it's a 2-quarterback, 10-team league and 30-year in rotation. So he may get started once or twice, but during bye weeks. But I don't expect him to be a big player. I don't expect him to be a top 20 quarterback, fantasy or otherwise, this year. But he could be fun. He might run off some big plays every once in a while. When Josh Gordon comes back, that's going to be a real litmus test, is to see if those two guys can really get it going, because he's got really no other options. I mean, you have Duke Johnson Jr., who is he's a good player, but he's not. He's the third down running back. He's not Isaiah Crowell, who also is super young. Didn't you guys think that Isaiah Crowell was 40 years old? He's 24. Craziness. But yeah, RG3 is just, I kind of wanted to see what happens next year. This year, basically all he has to do is not be the worst quarterback in the league. But next year, he's got to, this is his team right now.
Yeah.
So that's it, really. Carson Wentz also went down with a hairline rib fracture, who reminded me of first season RG3, actually, when I was watching the Eagles game. because he would roll out and kind of throw on the run really well and pretty accurately and not nice and not really low or not super high, kind of right in the catching pocket, from top of your helmet to bottom of the letters or bottom of the numbers. And so that kind of sucks for the Eagles, except they weren't going to start him. Peterson was basically saying like if he starts, it's going to be late in the season and we're out of it. Or we need him.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Peterson has come out and said he wasn't going to be the starter, so it's not a major blow. That being said, I've always been whether a rookie is going to be the guy who's going to be starting or not. I've always thought that it was imperative because every snap that you can get at NFL speed, whether it's preseason or not, every snap that you get when you're developing a young quarterback is just precious. And for him to not play for the rest of the preseason, I really see that as a time when you can take some risks and you can go out there and you can do some things that you wouldn't normally do because not a real game isn't on the line. I really think that's going to be a detriment, and I don't know how you make up. There's no substitute for experience, and this is now 4 weeks that he's going to lose. 4 weeks of preseason he's going to lose.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's important for rookie quarterbacks to get time like that, but. If his ribs are already broken, what does that mean about his durability moving forward? Does it mean anything at all, or does it mean like, hey, he takes hits weird, and
it means he's closer to RG3 than you originally thought you meant.
Well, yeah, I was gonna draw, if it's ribs, I was going to draw a comparison to Michael Vick.
Yeah, he had rib issues, but he would start a bunch of games though. Like he seemed durable. I don't know how many games he missed throughout his career, but it was definitely more towards the end of his career.
He missed nearly the entire 2006 season.
Was that the Madden curse
Matt
season?
Schaub. Yeah, that was the Madden curse season, and that's when Matt Schaub. No, that was 2 years after, because that's when he tore his ACL in a preseason game, and that's when Matt Schaub came in and played a bunch of games and then earned his way into a Texans contract. So that was
sounds like another Texan quarterback we know of. Ouch. So is there anyone that really it needs to prove himself in the there's not really much quarterback controversy this year. Really, the only one I can think of is probably Blaine Gabbert and that other guy who shall not be named with the tattoo.
Well,
Colin Kaepernick. Don't talk about him. He's just Blaine Gabbert's slightly tanner friend.
I mean, he's gorgeous, if that's what you're going for.
He's got a big Jew-nose.
Wow, that was Jake. Wow.
Is that racist? Jews have big noses.
I don't know. Blaine Gabbert didn't really...
wide ones. White people have little ones. Continue talking. I don't know if...
This fell apart. No, Blaine
You're trying to backpedal a thing that doesn't need backpedaled, little nose?
Blaine Gabbert didn't impress me too much. He did have one run that was really impressive. He had a 13-yard scramble that he was able to slip away from.
Does Gabbert still have nice hair?
Yeah, no, he cut his hair. Remember, now he has short blonde hair. He doesn't have his nice blonde. Just like Sunshine, from Remember the Titans. He had to cut it. Bad. So yeah, he doesn't have his long, sexy hair anymore.
Oh, he does have he's got a coif thing going on though, and it kind of. He's a good-looking dude, right? I mean, he's no Cap. Let's be real. He's got too little of a nose, but.
I mean, I wouldn't not. That's what you're asking.
Who do you think wins that, though? I think it's Kaepernick, just because, Chip's there now. It just makes sense, right?
I would think it would be Kaepernick. One solely because they want to put him out there and see if he's acceptable enough that they're going to be able to deal him and do something with him before the end of next offseason. I think because they're going to want to try and put something together. Something almost came together for him going to Denver, and then something almost came together for him going to New York. I think they'll put him out there.
It was him not wanting to take a pay cut. He bet on himself this year.
Right. And that being said, his ceiling is a whole hell of a lot higher than Blaine Gabbert's, but his basement may be lower, which I can't believe I'm saying those words, that somebody's basement could be lower than Blaine Gabbert's.
I think we forget that this guy stole Alex Smith's job and then went to a Super Bowl.
He took his job.
Hey, you gotta be PC now, sir. I don't know where Colin Kaepernick is from, but he looks a little He looks a little steely of your jobby. I'm just saying. And I'm just gonna keep hammering this home because you're so fucking worried about it. Anyways, he looks like a burrito. Actually, I don't know where Kaepernick's from. Find out. He's probably Iranian.
So I think that
he has better food than Mexicans.
I think that if there's any year that we'll find out whether or not Chip Kelly's system can work in the NFL, it's this year, which is why I think Chip Kelly will have a stake in the game of trying to make sure that Colin Kaepernick is the starter. Because Blaine Gabbert plays more out of a pro-style set, right? So he's looking for more of a traditional pocket to form, 5-step drop, whereas, Chip Kelly seems to have written an offense that thrives on the idea of the busted play. And frankly, right now, who better than obviously the all-time greats that are playing right now, but who better in a young system for Chip Kelly to try to finally prove that his system can work in the NFL? Who better than Colin Kaepernick, frankly?
Okay, so history on Colin Kaepernick. He was born to a 19-year-old single mother who's seems like ex-boyfriend or ex-whoever. He was an African-American, and then he was adopted.
Yeah, he's adopted by some German. Yeah, by some German
people. Kaepernicks. So his heritage is just white and black. It's so much less fun now.
Okay, John, you say that, but keep in mind that Nick Foles was really the centerpiece of that offense for Chip Kelly for those first 2 years there in Philadelphia. And Nick Foles is not a guy who's known to be able to run around and scramble. I mean, he's a fairly in-the-pocket guy who's not going to bail out, and he's not a Johnny Manziel by any means. He's not even a Dan Marino who's going to be, or a Brett Favre who can buy time. So you say that, but if he was able to make it work with Nick Foles, I think that Blaine Gabbert could fit in there. Am I saying Blaine Gabbert for MVP? No, but I'm saying that Blaine Gabbert might beat out Colin Kaepernick if he's able to grasp this playbook, which from my understanding is a fairly complicated playbook compared to most NFL systems.
I'm very glad that you brought that comparison up, and here's why. Blaine Gabbert looks more like Nick Foles. Colin Kaepernick looks more like Mark Sanchez, and Mark Sanchez did a better job in that system than Nick Foles did.
That's true.
Fair point.
Also, I would like to point out that the system we talk about with Chip Kelly it's a hurry-up offense. It's no huddle. It's got quick timing routes, and it's a spread West Coast offense with a no huddle, basically. And the idea is that you tire the defense out and you capitalize on the mismatches when they start to sub. It's not about amazing playbooks. It's not about it's a pacing thing. It's kind of like how Mark Burley in the MLB used to throw these like perfect games or no hitters, where he would just get the ball and throw, get the ball and throw, get the ball and throw, and that's what they do, and they do it well when it's like when we saw this Eagles offense run well 2 years ago, and when it's not run well, you saw that last year where it's lumbering. They were the second fastest last year, right? Or maybe they might have dipped, but the Patriots were number one.
Yeah, and it was because Sam Bradford had so much trouble running that offense at speed. He looked like, he was slow. He almost looked like Byron Leftwich trying to run the play because he was just so lumberingly slow.
Yeah. Also, and all the speed things with Bradford, he also had the most drops of any quarterback last year.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Like by far, a lot of plays that were just killed. Again, we've talked about this. I bet a lot on Sammy Bradford last year because I waited on a quarterback. It was stupid, but it should have panned out a little bit early on. Later on in the season, he just got exposed because the team in general got exposed. But early on, you're talking 15 to 20-yard post routes by Jordan Matthews or Zach Ertz dropping passes in the end zone.
Yeah.
Or which, by the way, he wasn't targeted that much in the end zone. It happened like twice though. He dropped like 2 passes in the end zone. You have the running backs just fucking scattered all over the place. You have 3 of them that don't know what the fuck to do. You have no blocking. They traded their entire offensive line. It was in shambles. And so what I'm hoping is that San Francisco is a little bit more competitive this year because last year was a shit show. And when Kaepernick's on, he's fun to watch, even though I hate his face.
Very much so. Definitely.
I fucking can't stand the guy.
You know, and I'll touch on that real quick. Everybody, welcome Dom into the show. Dom is here.
Oh, fuck, Dom's here. But I told him not to. I
buddy?
texted him twice and said, "Do not show up," and that's the truth.
I believe
Good
the
job.
exact words were "or not your garbage." Actually.
Right.
First world-
Also, my next words will be, "Sit the fuck up in your chair and get closer to your microphone, you amateur." Anyways,
Sorry.
I
You're
will
the
say,
one- You're the one who recruited me.
that's true. And
Dom,
you're
you were a
disappointed.
walk-on. You were a walk-on. Okay. You were already enrolled at the school, and you just kind of showed up. No, glad you're here. One guy who I saw that really impressed me, who really hasn't gotten a whole lot of coverage. Obviously, the guys who are going to get the coverage right now are what's going on with Wentz, what's going on with Goff, how abysmal the Dolphins looked, and how abysmal the Rams secondary looked up against the Cowboys. But I'll tell you one guy who's not getting a lot of play who should. DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry both went out there and looked fucking phenomenal for the Titans rushing offense. Oh my gosh. DeMarco Murray starts the game off with a 71-yard touchdown. Then he goes on for another 5 carries, averaging 4.5 yards per carry. Great job for you. Derrick Henry went out there, fucking workhorse, 10 carries for 74 yards. Longest one, it's not like he had a 70-yard run in there. Longest run was a 16-yard run and a touchdown. The guy was a beast. The guy went out there. His worst run was a 3.5 yard run on a busted play there in the third quarter. The guy looked legit. I was really very happy with the way, or not happy because I play against him every year, 2 times a year. Really happy if you're a Tennessee Titans fan what your rushing offense looks like right now. Really, really, really stellar stuff from them, from either Henry or DeMarco Murray, whichever you go with.
You know what's scary about that is that's another one of those two-headed beasts you're not going to be able to figure out. Is it going to be one of those situations where you have like a Gio Bernard and then a Jeremy Hill, and you don't know which one to ever fucking start?
Or a
He's
Chris
kind of
Sims and a Doug Martin kind of thing?
Well,
Yeah.
Doug Martin's probably good for 100 yards total a game and maybe a touchdown. Chris Sims is good in the PPR leagues because he catches 1 billion passes. But yeah, it's similar. Those are probably both good starts actually. But DeMarco and Henry are very similar in running style too. They kind of like DeMarco is not making a lot of guys miss completely. Like he might every once in a while, but he's physical. Like obviously Derrick Henry's a fucking wrecking ball, but
He's an Alabama running back. He's not going to ever sidestep you. He's just going to step over you.
right, and he's good at it. And what I'm hoping is though, they do this sort of David Johnson thing, and they kind of like just keep him. Like keep him in the back, maybe spell every once in a while, get him some action in games. Keep him fresh because we know one thing in the NFL is constant. Your running backs become unhealthy real quick.
Yep.
Like it's not a gradual thing where their production dips. It's like, oh, I fucking blew an ankle, next guy up, and that's kind of how it works. And so he's not necessarily a third down running back, Henry. So you need to be able to get him out there when you can. Do they still have Sankey? They're keeping him, right?
Yeah, they're going to keep him. Yeah, they're going to keep him for sure.
So what I would do is spell on first and second down with Henry whenever DeMarco needs a breather, and then have Sankey there for third downs, like third and longs. If DeMarco will catch some passes, but he's not a great catching threat. So
He actually, I think he helped me in my other league. He helped me a couple of times with some flex position stuff, because occasionally he'll rattle off a few extra yards and score you some points. Bishop Sankey will.
yeah, but he's not a viable starter all the time.
No,
But yeah,
definitely
so
not.
if I'm the coach, I'm keeping Derrick Henry kind of close to the vest and squeezing every little bit I can get out of DeMarco Murray. And then if that doesn't work out, then you have Henry back there who's fresh week 8, 9, 10 and can, keep you going. I'm not saying these guys will be a playoff team, but if they're in a position to maybe push for a wild card in week like 12, 13, which is not terribly out of the question, it's probably not likely, but they could be there. It's only 8 to 9 wins. They might need a guy, and he could be that guy. So yeah.
And Marcus Mariota looked okay. I mean, he didn't have any spectacular throws. He was out there for just the first 2 series. Went 5 for 5 for 45 yards. Didn't throw anything. I think his furthest pass was 13 yards. Actually, in the air, I'm talking about the actual throw was 13 yards. So he didn't have any deep throws. It was all slant and crossing routes. He didn't have a fade or a streak there in the. Well, no, but I mean, you had guys like RG3 who went out there and who was bombing, downfield. So you didn't see that from Mariota. We know he's going to be the starter, so he didn't have anything to prove.
I would expect Mariota and Winston to both improve this year over their last year.
I agree.
Yeah. Man, how much are we thinking Goff is viable specifically in the LA Rams? Like, if he's on another team, he probably has a better shot. Just because the weapons involved.
Are you talking from a fantasy standpoint or
both? Like, let's consider a fantasy standpoint first, because in our league we run 2 quarterbacks starting, and then we have 1 available on the bench. So there's 30 total usually on a team, not instead of 32 possible quarterbacks. There's always 2 free agents. Is he on a team?
I think he is.
And let's assume it's not because it's a stash and hoping he pans out and has a really good season. Let's assume is he on a team because he's producing fantasy-wise?
I think he's on a team just to fill a spot. I don't necessarily think he'll produce
he's a
too much
fantasy
quarterback. Right, exactly, because I think that Todd Gurley is probably going to shoulder a lot of the burden.
Agree.
So he's going to be somebody I'm betting is going to be fought over quite a bit leading up to the draft.
Yeah,
and obviously for us, I think you have him as a keeper this year, don't you?
Gurley, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Goff. That'd be
crazy. Right. But I'm saying Gurley is going to carry a lot of that load.
Yeah.
I think Goff will end up filling a roster spot, and he's going to have weeks. There's going to, you just hope that it's your bye week. If you have him on your roster, you just hope it's your bye week that he decides to go off and throw 4 touchdowns, because it will happen at some point.
So who are the worst quarterbacks in the league this year? Are we looking at like a Mark Sanchez, a Blaine Gabbert, or Colin Kaepernick, or is it really, really deep this year? Teddy Bridgewater is the one that sticks out to me, and Sam Bradford as the 2 that probably are just always going to disappoint based upon kind of their offenses and just how it works.
So I haven't had the opportunity to do the graphing that I do for the league, right, and I'll be doing that. I have an idea that I'm thinking with the guys that are out there that there's going to be a small top end, a huge middle plateau, and then about 3 or 4 guys sitting way at the bottom. I think there's going to be a lot of parity in the quarterbacking this year.
I agree. Now, not to freak you guys out, because you are my arch nemesis when it comes to fantasy season, but I have notes in this purple book about all sorts of fantasy players. I even have offensive lines ranked, just saying, and I'm looking for my quarterback tiering. Let me see if I can get any information for you.
Well, you've seen what I do with spreadsheets when I start.
Right, yeah. And so I have in my top tier, I won't go for the other ones because it's tipping my hand, but none of these guys are available in our Keeper League. So my top tier, number 1, I think, is probably Aaron Rodgers. Now, you could switch him out with Cam Newton. Probably, pretty much all these guys are interchangeable, but Aaron Rodgers is, I think, consensus usually the number 1 picked fantasy quarterback.
Right, and he was our consensus number 1 when we did our top 5s.
Right. So Cam Newton is my not necessarily number 2, just the number 2 guy in here. Russell Wilson and Drew Brees. Those are the only tier 1 quarterbacks, and by tier 1 I mean that's the type of guy that because we're in a keeper league. And we have 2 keepers. Now, if you're in a standard fantasy draft or you don't have keepers or anything like that, these are guys that you probably want to wait till round 2 to pick. But in tier 1, in my head, it's worth a first-round pick in our draft specifically. And that's kind of where I have him. And then after that, it kind of changes to where like just a value thing. But
now, correct me if I'm wrong. You didn't list Brady there.
That's because
of the 4-game suspension? Okay,
yeah,
so that's because of the suspension.
Now, starting week 5, he's
Hang on one sec,
1.
Jake. I'm sorry. Jake, I apologize. Dom keeps trying to get in, but I don't think his mic is working right.
Is my mic all right?
Yeah, your mic is shit.
Your mic is shit. Leave and die. Anyways, probably don't die. Tom Brady is gone for the first 4 weeks. After that, he's obviously a tier 1 quarterback. He's matchup proof basically. just like these other guys usually. So I'm not. He's actually my top tier 2 quarterback. Tom Brady is, and then it's everybody else. But again, Tom isn't available in our draft because of keepers. Yeah, you should just disconnect. Just uninstall, bro. Uninstall, delete your account.
Did you just tell him to uninstall executable-life.exe?
Yeah. Uninstall life.
Dude, uninstall your life. No. Yes and no. I'm going to say, though, with Tom Brady, I mean, again, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. I mean, to me, you've still got to put Tom Brady in there, depending on who your keepers are. If you've already got a wide receiver and you've already got a running back there, and you're drafting at the end of your first round...
The end of the first round needs to be taking quarterbacks, probably.
You need to be taking quarterbacks at the end of the first round and beginning of the second round, especially in a PPR league, because obviously your Antonio Browns, your Julio Jones, those are going to be the top guys who go in any league. But I wouldn't fault someone if you're in a league that has keepers and someone's already kept Aaron Rodgers and someone's already kept Cam Newton and somebody's already kept who else are we going to put up there in the top tier? Are we going to say
Drew Brees, Russell Wilson?
We're going to put. I was going to say Drew Brees, not necessarily Russell Wilson, but yeah, for sure Drew Brees. But yeah, fine, Russell Wilson, whatever, fine.
I hate his face, and I can't take him out of the top tier, no matter what I do.
Fine.
I tried.
Okay. If you're going to
tried.
If you're going to have those guys already off the board, I don't see a problem. If you've got a top tier wide receiver and you've got a top tier running back, I don't see a problem with taking Tom Brady at the end of the first round.
Blog. Update.
Tom Brady has cancer.
Breaking news.
Breaking news from it's just a video of Adrian Peterson.
Beating the shit out of his kid?
ESPN has him as the number 1 in a PPR league.
Totally muted now.
Number 1 in a PPR league.
Who put him as number 1?
Let's see. I'll check and see who the video says.
Yeah, you gotta look at the individual writer.
Fucking Barry, Matt Barry.
That's a Mel Kiper Jr. move if I've ever heard one.
No, it's
that's a Mel Kiper move, dude.
It's that sweet talking young guy. What's his name?
Oh, Shea?
No, Shea. No, Todd McShay. No.
Yeah.
The other guy, not the NFL guy, the fantasy football guy, the young guy. I can't remember his name. He's the cute. He's the cute one.
They want me to watch a 1-20 long ad before I can get to the video.
Yeah, no. Tell them to uninstall their life.exe.
That's what I'm saying.
Terrible. Dom, by the way, is in full mute mode. Oh, he's unmuted.
Oh, there we go. Is that?
Oh, Dom,
his voice works.
Wrong.
Now
audio channel.
Now it's just Dom's. Now it's just his takes that are garbage and not his actual.
So first question for you, Dom. Did you get to find your Crystal Pepsi?
No, I did not find the Crystal Pepsi, but I found some interesting shit.
Oh, fuck.
God, this is an improv night,
jump over with a jet ski, Fonz.
Are you going to get into a nukeable fridge there?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, let's say that again.
He's not real. Oh, shit.
Wow.
Wrong channel.
Come out strong.
Wrong channel.
Anyways,
I was gonna tell you.
Well, no, God is dead because of the Swedish fish Oreos that we've.
No. God was killed because of the Whopper Ito.
It's all of the things. All of these things are evidence.
Lou, didn't you say that was test marketed in Texas? How much blood is on your hands for that?
All of it. All of it is on my hands.
We already went through all of that.
We went through that, guys. While Dom.
What happens when you show up an hour late, Dom?
When Dom was pulling out his ridiculous bullshit, another topic that we got into, guys, the Team USA basketball has embarrassment is an acceptable word to use for the last 3 games, correct? With our games against Serbia, which I had to look up. I didn't know where Serbia was on the map. I knew it was a Soviet state, didn't know where it was.
Yeah, the Soviet Union, which exists still.
Yes, it was a Soviet state. It was something that broke up from the USSR.
Talking Texas.
Satellite.
Damn, you're dumb. You've got Serbia. You've got France, a Tony Parker-less France. And who was the other game that we just barely beat somebody recently? We just got embarrassed. Was it Italy or was it France? Well, there you go. Or was it Spain?
I don't know how you get embarrassed in a win, but okay.
if you're the United States of America and you beat Serbia, a country that none of us could point to on a map on their first try.
Do you know where one of the first places guys go is when they can't play in the NBA? They go to Eastern Europe.
They go to Hungary. Hungary is where they go.
Eastern Europe is huge.
It's where Ricky Rubio came from. Peja Stojakovic.
Timothy Mozgov.
Timothy Mozgov's Russian.
Basically, what it says is international play is just a lot better than I think you maybe expected it to be.
Is it a lot better than we expected it, or is it that the American players don't give a shit out there?
I think it's W to W. They'll go out there and play as hard as they need to. Go ahead, John.
I was watching the Serbia game in a bar in Pennsylvania, and
so basically Serbia.
Basically Serbia.
So it was a home crowd. I see.
Yeah. And there was one play in the third quarter where Kyrie Irving, there were two Serbian players guarding him, and he crossed out both of them with one move and layup. And that was the moment I was like, these guys aren't actually trying.
So what you're saying is they're saving themselves.
I don't think they're saving. I just don't think they give a shit, man.
This is the point. This is why I'm against having professional athletes in this shit, because it's super boring. I know we're the best at basketball already. I want to know if our amateurs are the best at basketball still.
I think they might be.
And I know John is for the professionals, and I get it, because I mean these are our best athletes. Do better if you want us to not fucking win the gold. I understand that, but as a fan of the sport, it's like watching girls basketball, like high school girls basketball, which is just abysmal all the time, always. And except Serbian men.
Well, Jake, I'm sure you listen to RTP Overtime this week, and I'm sure you have a lot of notes about me and John's very in-depth and critical analysis, and really just super intelligent stuff that we talked about. Yeah. But see, that's my issue, is that the Olympics should be the best of the best that you're putting on. So if you're going to put these guys out there, if you're going to say, well, let's put amateurs out there, well, fuck it. What's the point of the Olympics? What's the point of it being an Olympic sport then? My thing is, basketball shouldn't be an Olympic sport, because winning the gold in the Olympics doesn't mean anything. Winning the NBA Finals means something.
Let me cut Lou off. I'm going to cut Lou off and cut everybody off for a second so that I can segue into a plug for a new show that's coming out Thursday on this channel called RTP Overtime, where we discuss exactly that.
Yay.
So we shouldn't finish this conversation, Lou. You're fucking terrible at marketing. Anyways,
I thought it came out
I think that was a good lead-in, actually.
Hey, here's some. You're blue balled. Basically, John and Lou have a discussion. RTP Overtime. Hold on, shut up. RTP Overtime is a segment that we will have on this podcast and on this YouTube channel, where we discuss topics that maybe we didn't get to discuss either together. Maybe someone didn't make the recorded show or the live show, or not enough in depth because we ran short on time, or Lou tried to bring up a subject and none of us would listen to him because he's terrible.
So the format's a little different on that show. It's two people, and we try to keep it to a half an hour. First show ended up being about 33 and a half minutes, but that was because we had a lot of good stuff. It's always one topic. It's always two people, and it's always going to be
sexy,
shooting for under a half an hour.
And sensual.
Forever sexy, because you always have at least two beards on screen at all times.
Correct. Dom, you obviously have an awful thing in your hand. Please show us.
I did a bad thing.
What'd Dom do?
So I got to thinking, man, what's worse than a Swedish fish Oreo? And I thought
a Serbian fish.
Yeah, I wish it was only that. It's a Swedish fish Oreo with another off-brand thing as the top. So if you can't see that through my webcam,
that's not an Oreo?
That is an Oreo. However, it is a red velvet cake Oreo.
Okay, red velvet cake Oreo.
Swiss cheese frosting, and there's
I'm sorry, what?
Swiss cheese.
No, it's
frosting.
cream cheese frosting.
Oh no. Oh
no! He corrected you.
Swiss cheese frosting is not a. Since when is that a thing? What?
No. I'm joking. Yes, I said.
Oh, no. Okay, so it is cream cheese frosting.
Yes, I love how you strung us along on that. That was great.
Okay. By the way,
there's Swedish fish inside.
Daddy was right. Daddy was right about the cheese frosting. I know my cheese frostings, people.
Anyhow.
So it's red velvet with cream cheese frosting and
that sounds delicious. I don't know.
It's going to be delicious.
That sounds great. That sounds like all of that works together.
Swedish fish in it, and I didn't get the good Swedish fish either. I got like the really cardboardy, shitty store brand Swedish fish that doesn't actually bend; it just tears.
Wait, is it Swedish fish brand though?
No, it is. It is the exact label was red fish candy.
Nice. Dom, here's the thing, and you guys noticed in the chat all week I was calling these red fish Oreos. I grew up eating red fish, and then I always said they were crap, and then someone said, hey, have one of these, it's a Swedish fish. I said, oh, it's a red fish, and I tasted it, and I said, wow, these are fucking great now. What did they change? And then I pulled out my bag versus their bag. I said, oh, I have the store brand. There's a problem here. So no, he's right. The red fish are garbage.
So Dom's Oreo comes with a side of mercury.
Yep, pretty much. Here we go.
I'm sure it'll be delicious. Dom, you weren't here for it, but I'm putting Swedish fish on a regular Oreo, and it's heavenly.
Yeah. God, red fish are garbage.
How's the wait? So where did you get the frosting from though? Did you make it yourself? Also, whose fucking dogs are barking? What kind of piece of shit would let their dogs bark during a show like this?
No,
Lou.
it's just red velvet Oreos have cream cheese filling because someone thought that was a good idea.
Wait, hold on. That much frosting inside?
Oh yeah, there's a lot. Look at that, man. They're double. That's basically double stuffed. But this is
way more than double stuffed. Oh, no, thank you.
That's an inordinate amount of cream cheese frosting.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
I'm gonna lick it.
At 20 viewers, Dom has to drink a smoothie/milkshake of each of you, plus the audience gets to pick the ingredients.
Oh no, Doug.
What kind of horrible thing is happening?
You see what you've done?
20 of you. It's what has to be done.
I love, though, that the first words that you ever said on a recorded show was, hey, like Fonzarelli, and now you're being called Dom Fonzarelli in the thing because you keep jumping the shark.
Right, exactly. I really like that Lou took the time to mute his shit when he went out and did that. It was fantastic. I appreciate that.
That was disgusting.
We're going to call Lou Vic from now on because he's obviously conducting a dog fighting ring in his house. That's the only thing that explains any of this. Also, Dom, you make bad life decisions. Including this show.
Probably true.
So,
like I say, if I'm garbage, you all are too. Kindred spirits, one and all.
I have to be concerned with like contributing to the delinquency of a minor or something.
No, not for long. He's legal, and then we get to put out the nude calendar, so it's fine.
Exactly.
So, is there anything else in the sporting world that we have to cover today, and it cannot wait?
Yes.
What is the thing?
America won a bronze medal in the 3,000-meter women's steeplechase.
That sounds like a terrible event. Tell me all about it.
Oh, I'll tell you all about this.
Steeplechase.
This is one of the things I do.
Oh, I know the steeplechase. The steeplechase is funny as fuck. There's like water pits and shit.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
So
they should get paintball guns out there and shoot at them.
I set it up for I set it up for Dom to hit it out of the park because I know that he's a runner and I figure he would at least know about steeplechase.
So as a proud member of the NASCAR of athletic sports, I will tell you about the steeplechase. So what the steeplechase is, basically it's 3,000 meters, which is 200 meters less than 2 miles, where you're jumping over barriers that vary in height depending on the gender and stuff like that. And one of those things...
What if you're ambigendered?
You're like, what if you're a dragon?
It's a gender that's ambiguous and it changes day to day. What's the height of my steeple chasing obstacles if I am ambigendered?
As a dragonkin, will my obstacles be higher so that I can use my wings?
As a wolfkin, will my obstacles... If you identify as
any of this shit, you're definitely not in the Olympics.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow, and then one of those hurdles has a water pit where people wipe out quite hilariously very often, and that's why people like it.
It sounds like Dom is describing that Ultimate Wipeout Challenge show more than
it sounds like a Ninja Warrior.
It sounds like American Ninja Warrior more than it does the Olympics, which, quite frankly, is more entertaining than the Olympics.
I like the American Ninja Warrior. I think that's fun.
Yeah, I just said it's more entertaining than the Olympics. It's better than the Olympics.
It's like this guy doesn't pay attention to us. I don't understand him.
Well, only Lou.
Oh, you don't pay attention to Lou. Anyways, continue to talk about the steeplechase.
Anyhow.
Why is it impressive that we won bronze? That sounds like third place to me, and if you're not first, you're last.
First medal we've ever won.
Yeah, it's we just don't really win that event at all. Anything middle distance all goes to Central Africa basically.
The first time we've ever medaled in the
Was
sport.
the person that won black or white?
White. Blonde lady. Aryan.
What?
The master race. I'm kidding. That's horrible.
Wow. What are you doing?
I'm kidding. That's awful.
I wasn't going. Okay, so where I was going with that is you said the Central Africans win. I was like, well, if the person has Central African parents but they live here, that doesn't really fucking count, does it? It counts for Central Africa, and we kind of took that.
So
we
garbage. I am so garbage.
Yeah, you're a bad person. I was just gonna.
So you just went from being Dom Fonzarelli to Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. I love it.
We don't.
I love it.
All I'm saying is we don't win anything anymore. China, they're winners.
Wow.
That's actually a fairly good Trump impersonation.
That's
not way better than I am.
That's not the worst thing I've ever heard. Maybe we'll have a Donald Trump rant every once in a while on the show. That would be good, except one of us is going to have to write it for him because he's an idiot. Anyways, so the steeplechase, I guess, is important if you care about running over obstacles and stuff. But here in America, we make other people run over obstacles. We use drones now. We don't need the steeplechase. Give that one to Iran or something. Someone with actual issues.
Why would we enter the race if we could just hit the finish line from 10,000 meters up? You know?
Right. Yeah. What was that about? I don't understand. So we've been focusing on real sports. Also, by the way, Serena Williams basically quit the Olympics.
Well,
she's just like, you know what? No, I don't wanna. And then she was like, I'm out.
Yeah, Serena and Venus lost their doubles match. They got eliminated their first match in doubles play, and then like 2 days later, Serena got eliminated from singles play. Though U.S. women got eliminated from the soccer.
The soccer's a little different. I think they actually care. I don't think Venus and Serena give a fuck about the Olympics.
Yeah, they probably don't.
I think they were both like, yeah, I want to go home. This isn't that. This is Rio. You've been here? Everyone has Zika.
Ryan Lochte got robbed at gunpoint.
Who did?
Ryan Lochte did.
Oh, Ryan Lochte. It's probably because he has that fucking beacon hair.
They were
just like, I guess we're going to rob that one.
Yeah. Well, so what happened was they were leaving a party, like an after party for a medal celebration or something like that, and they got pulled over by a group of people that were dressed as police officers, and they held everybody at gunpoint, told them to get on the ground. Ryan Lochte said no, so the guy cocked the pistol, stuck it right to his forehead, and said, "Get on the ground now, or I will kill you." They were all dressed in police garb. They had badges. And they robbed the guys blind and left them there.
And if this was in the sea, Lochte would have just went like dolphined away. It would have been just fine. See, if they would have done this, like maybe Usain Bolt needs to hang out with Ryan Lochte more often. And you can like pick him up and carry the swimmer to a body of water and drop him in it, so he can also get away.
Man.
Yeah, gotta figure something out
Ryan
here.
Ryan Lochte's kind of garbage this year, but.
That one gymnast is kicking the shit out of everybody though, because America. Simone what?
Simone
Riles or some shit. Simona.
What are you doing?
That's how Michael Jackson says it.
I'm gonna delete Lou.
Listen,
from everything.
Listen, I made a really racist joke, but at least I didn't do what Lou just did.
Right, that's true. Like, you could literally be Mussolini right now, and this guy would still be doing Michael Jackson callback jokes
to
himself without any reference to any of the punchlines, and all of us are just gonna kind of have to guess our way towards the laugh. That's not how jokes work.
Why'd you say Mussolini? Shit.
Because you're Italian, you cunt.
No. Listen, I know it's slow-hanging fruit, and my buddy CJ in the live chat right now, that's been a talking point to his for a while, so expect some shit posting.
Yeah, well, what do you mean expect? He's the last fucking 7 posts. Of course, actually it's 6. We had one in there. Mussolini, and Donald Trump. I love it. That's fantastic.
That was
Rock Soldier.
What have I done? I regret everything I've said.
I have a mea culpa then. I have to do it because Rock Soldier is on point tonight. I stole the Dom Trump. He put Dom Trump. I stole Donald Trump from.
Well, I still like Donald better. So you're garbage, Rock Soldier, but Mussolini is a good one.
He has a my avatar, so.
Yeah. So.
I'm kidding, Rock Soldier.
I feel like Lou actually did delete himself. He's just gone now.
Hello.
So anyways, is there anything else you guys wanted to discuss real quick before we sign out? We're at a little over an hour and almost 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, college football wide receiver is doing the 110 hurdles in the Olympics.
Yes, Arizona State guy?
No, Oregon, I believe, actually.
Oh, because the Arizona State guy I thought wasn't allowed in the Olympics or something, like he missed it. So someone's doing a what? What is it?
I forget he's the starting wide receiver for Oregon's football team, and he actually won his qualifying round.
Oregon?
He's doing the 110-meter hurdles?
Yeah. Hang on, let me... Yeah, and he's actually doing fairly well. It's actually impressive. Shows that, football players are quite the pinnacle of athleticism, even in...
I would say so, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, there's last year before the fantasy football season started, and therefore the football season. But let's be real, it's about fantasy football. I had someone in my Twitter mentions saying that, hey, Jared Hayne is super good at rugby. That guy's going to be a really great NFL player. And I was like, well, probably not.
Around, right?
No, he's not.
Sarcasm.
Yeah, he's not around. Well, you're really too far away from your mic for me to ever understand what you're talking about. So, Jared Hayne flames out, of course, and it's just terrible. Like, he had like one good preseason showing where he like returned a punt 50 yards or something. And so I went on this long thing, and of course all the Australians and New Zealanders come at me like, rugby players, they play all the time. They don't take breaks every so often. It's like, do you guys not understand the athleticism involved in the NFL? It's not just like running. Do they think it's just running? It's just cardio, and that's all that matters? That's the only thing?
So I think I would actually agree with an Australian coming at you about that if they were talking about Australian rules football and not rugby. Because Australian rules football is an 80-minute long game, and those guys, it's 22 against 22. On a huge fucking field.
That's just a fucking bukkake.
It's really a
that's probably what the back
fun game to watch.
That sounds like what the back of like a butcher's would look like. Just a slaughterhouse all the time.
We have to remember the first game recognized as both the first American soccer game and American football game against two colleges was 25 versus 25.
Yeah, that's craziness. Also, someone said, I was the CJ. Fuck you, CJ. They said, go tell him to go one-on-one with JJ Watt. I did. I said, I think he's probably the best athlete in the NFL at this point is JJ Watt because he's a fucking freak. And apparently Jared Hayne was up there with the best in rugby. And there's no contest, right? I mean, there's just no fucking contest. You could Iron Man that shit and have him do stuff that has nothing to do with either sport, and J.J. Watt would clean him out. Like, it'd be done. And that's not something, like, I'm proud of. I fucking hate J.J. Watt. But that's just the way it is, you know? It's like how I had to put Russell Wilson in the tier 1 of fucking quarterbacks when really he should be off the team and sent to wherever we don't like most. Serbia.
So yeah, just a little quick update on the catalyst of this conversation. Devon Allen, he advanced to the semifinals in the 110-meter hurdles, tied for first in his heat, and is in a fairly good starting position for the further rounds. So he is quite the athlete. He's got a gay haircut, but we'll forgive him of that.
Well, show us the gay haircut. I think that's important because we talked about Blaine Gabbert's hair earlier.
And gave him
props.
He's got two diamond earrings too. So
you know what? That like
Dragonkins
black guys can do that. Is he a black guy?
He's
black guys get to wear jewelry. I don't know why. It just works. We can't do it. We can't pull it off. I think we're just not cool enough.
Or you're gonna be disappointed.
Is he not a black guy?
Oh no.
He's not? What's his name?
Hold on.
That was like Derone.
Devon Allen.
Devon? That's not a black guy? You're fucking with me.
He might be like 10%. He's fairly tan, but I don't know.
No way.
Uh-huh.
I'm so glad that it's Donald Trump looking this up.
Right.
Oh man.
He's fairly tan, but build a wall 5 feet high.
He's not steal your job tan. He's more like take your luggage tan.
He won the 110 meters hurdles. Build the wall 110 meters higher.
God damn it. Oh.
Donald Trump, everybody.
This is on the internet forever. What have I done?
That was your mistake, man. You're the one. Are you really taking this long to show us a fucking picture of this guy?
I'm sorry.
What's his name? Devon Allen? I'll do it now.
I'm sharing screen right now. There we go.
Lou has both muted and turned off his camera, which means that he's trying to disown us currently.
Right, it's not working. All I see is your face, Dom, and you don't look like a black guy with earrings at all.
Fucking...
All right, I think this was a failure, Dom. We'll move on to the next thing.
Yeah, it was. The screen share feature's not working because, of course, it isn't.
How do you spell his name? I want to show the people.
His name is Devon, Devon Allen.
Boom.
And
Devon. Oh my God! You're right. What the heck? That's Macklemore. No, hold on. You're fucking with me, right?
Remember when I said that Dragonkins probably don't qualify for the Olympics?
Hold on,
might have been wrong.
That's just Macklemore, right?
Yeah, it is.
That's all that is?
He doesn't have like the stubble Macklemore does, but everything else, right? Yep.
That guy shops at thrift stores. He's got the Macklemore hair, which was an accident. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Before you ask, the answer is yes.
Lou's in. Lou is in.
Oh, Lou. You're always good for something, I think.
All right, now that's...
So, Lou, come on back. Come on back. You don't have to be embarrassed anymore. We won't talk about Devon Allen or whatever. We're about to wrap up anyways.
Yeah.
Hold on. How about this? I want kind of a live vote. Let's see what the very first game, Monday night football on 9/11, which by the way was a national tragedy. If you weren't
9/11 is a Sunday game.
You're right. Sunday night football. We should do 9/11. There we go. Sunday night football schedule. It is the Broncos versus the Panthers. What am I cooking for the inaugural?
That's the Thursday night game.
What?
Isn't it?
It says 8:30. I could be wrong. Thursday? Is it Thursday? Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Sunday night. What's going to be national? What's going to be national on NBC? There's all sorts of them.
The first Sunday night game on NBC is the Patriots and Cardinals.
So Patriots and Cardinals, yes, at 8:30 Eastern Time. Pats Cardinals, there it is. You're right.
Southwest egg rolls, easy.
Southwest egg rolls and what? We're making.
In an avocado tomatillo cream sauce.
Okay, but obviously we have to represent New England. So someone from New England, tell me what? Yeah, that's you. That's both you guys.
New England
clam chowder and Southwest egg rolls. No, we got to make this work. It can't be conflicting. That's awful.
Oh, so if unless does Buffalo have any Sunday night games?
No, well, no. I'm just talking about the one, just the first one.
No, I know. The reason I'm asking because I was going to say if you don't come up with a good New England thing, you could always do Buffalo wings.
I would never do that. That's too easy.
I can make
that's a cop out. I will do Southwest egg rolls though.
You'll do Southwest egg rolls with crab meat in them. There you go.
Southwest crab egg rolls.
It's not supposed to be good food. They're supposed to be.
No. It's supposed to be delicious food. You're awful, Dom. Anytime you think of something, delete that and start over. Okay? Because Cooking with Jake is a quality program that will have good food that you can make for your friends and family when you have them over for football, not jumping the shark with fucking Donald Trump.
God damn it, why did I say that? That's going to be on the internet forever. Jesus Christ, I'm an idiot.
That's how the internet works.
It just kind of came out. I was like, oh, I can make a racist joke. Wait a second.
No, you
That's
can't.
not a good idea.
I have an idea. Okay, what's the most New England thing, food-wise?
New England clam chowder.
It's clam chowder.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's clam chowder, and then what's the most Arizona thing?
Maybe I should put clam chowder.
Besides keeping Mexicans out.
Listen, all I'm saying
well,
is...
no, I'm just saying,
clearly Southwestern tacos, I mean, Southwestern...
Some sort of taco? I'm going to make...
Devon's allowed in.
I'm going to make Southwestern clam tacos. And they're going to be delicious. They're going to be fried clam tacos.
Nice. Actually, that sounds good.
Right, exactly. So that's what I'm going to make. Clams. And I will be filming it soon, and it'll be up that Sunday, and it'll be delicious. And we will do this moving forward. I will just come up with something cool for you to make with your family, and it'll be delicious. So there you go.
The turducken.
I'm not... Do you remember the delete thing that we talked about?
And also, don't forget, we got a new segment coming out, or a new segment coming out Thursday, new show coming out Thursday.
Yeah,
RTP overtime, new format. Yeah, we're going to try to push for one a week.
Yep, and then that's it. I think that's all the news we have for RTP. Lou looks like just defeated in every possible way.
I think the Swedish Fish have caught up to him.
Yeah, I don't know. Good. Yeah, I don't feel good either, honestly. But that's a lot of sugar that I've had today. So, yeah, I guess that's it, guys. Thanks for showing up, except for Dom. You've really you hurt everything that we could possibly.
Everything up.
Yeah, get ready for Donald Trump stuff though, because that's happening.
I'll get to work writing on that.
Yeah, it's happening. John, class act as always. I appreciate everything you do, and especially your beard. Lou, I'm sorry, just in general. I'm sure apologies are warranted for something, so I'm just covering it all at once. So, for these fuckers, I'm Jake, and that's a really beautiful picture of me down in the bottom left corner of your screen. Good night.